What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Just United. Manchester United beat Liverpool 2-1 at Anfield thanks to Harry Maguire with the header at the end of the game, just like he did against Lyon. What a game. What a performance. I'm joined by Jay. I'm joined by Khalid. How are you guys doing after such a performance?
Woo! My bro, that game, so crazy. I don't know. I just feel like there were some crazy parts. It was a bit shaky in the end, but bro,
We got it over the line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All I care about is we got it over the line. And my prediction was correct. That's what I'm saying.
Same. 2-1. For everybody that predicted 2-1, congratulations. You got it right. Congratulations. We got some people over here that predicted 2-2. And you know what? He might have been right as well towards the end of the game. But we finally beat him. We put the back-to-back duck to the side. And we beat Liverpool on their home turf. And it was such a performance from the team. And I'm so happy because, not just because of the win, in the performance from the team. And it was brilliant to see. How did you feel about it, Jay?
Well, you know what? For once, the intensity was there. The team were there. The defensive line was there. Everyone was switched on. Everyone was concentrating. The forward line was pressing with intensity. Mason Mount was fantastic. Cunha was fantastic. I can't see a bad foot gone wrong in that game. Everyone was switched on, and that was what I was most impressed with. Amorim got his tactics right for once, and the 3-4-3.
The tactics. What about the tactics? I don't hear nothing about no tactics. If anybody talks about tactics for the next week, until we play Brighton, then I got something for you. Go watch the highlights of this game.
I think the 3-4-3 paid off and it worked off. And I think
until the 75th minute, we were leading Liverpool to the 75th minute. Yeah. They got back in it at the end.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was brilliant to see, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think the goal, Bryan Mbeumo, the ball through from Ahmad was fantastic. The little sneaky, through ball outside of the foot. Bryan Mbeumo, first time finish, bang, brilliant goal, and it set us up.
Van Dijk defending with his aura again.
Set us up on the right foot. So you know what? Onwards and upwards. We've got Brighton next. Let's go.
In a minute and a half in the game, we scored. How did you feel when that goal? You remember what it was like when that goal went in? And it was amazing, wasn't it?
Oh, bro, just to see. I think one beautiful finish. The pass in itself was crazy, and I don't think anyone was actually expecting him to score from that angle. Look, we all know he's a brilliant player, but everyone knows, especially from that angle, it's a bit hard to shoot. So there we go. And to see Van Dijk on the floor, yes, that's it. So,
and you know what? It's so good to see because we have not gone up at Anfield since can't even remember the last time. Do you know the last time?
Yeah.
No, but that's the last. I mean, at the start of the game, minute and a half in the game, I cannot remember the last time we've done that. And do you know what? It was refreshing because we had to play our game. And we played it from the first minute. We got the goal, and then Liverpool had to come out and play our game too. Because for that performance that we put in, we made it uncomfortable for Liverpool in that first minute and a half. They probably thought they're going to put the pressure on us, and we took the game out of their hands from that moment.
And this is what we spoke about being very clinical and being intentional. We spoke about this earlier, me and you, Jay, about being really intentional about their passes, about going forward and just closing up those gaps, being really solid, not giving up. And I think that's what they showed today as well.
And I think that the maturity in the squad and I think the concentration, played a huge part in us getting across the line. I know Casemiro got the yellow card. Unfortunately enough for him, he got pulled off. He came on and we remained, the concentration was there in the game. No one got sent off. Everyone was doing their jobs. There's no lapses in concentration, no silly passes. Do you know what I mean? So I think we thoroughly deserved that win.
Yeah.
And I can only commend the team for the intensity and the character they showed in that game.
So we'll go back to the first goal.
Yeah.
Mbeumo with the finish.
Yeah.
Did you think he was gonna score? Because I honestly, when it happened, I seen it in slow motion, and I was like, "This is going in. This is going in." Because the way he hit the ball, he hit it so sweetly as well. Okay, you get a little bit lucky from the keeper as well, but at the same time, he hit with such intent.
Well, for me, Mbeumo's been a best share on that right hand side, and the angle was a difficult angle to take that and score.
I don't even think Van Dijk expected the shot.
Yeah. But it just goes to show the type of world class player we've got with Mbeumo, because he can do things like that. He can upset your defense. He can trouble them. He can do one-on-ones. You know what I mean? And lucky enough, the keeper,
And that ball, by the way, from to Mbeumo was on every single time as well. And it was world class. But that ball every single time was on to Mbeumo.
We always talk about like the chances that we create, but look at how Ahmad just flows through. You could see him cutting through. That was the most important thing as well.
Ahmad played the ball that he would want.
Exactly.
In that moment, he played the ball that he would want. And if we can get back to back in the next game against Brighton, we should be able to go on a run now until, I don't want to jinx it and say whatever, but we should be able to go on a run until Christmas, because we got some fixtures. I think we got Spurs in there. Like that, for me, every other game bar this game, before this game today, every other game was winnable. And Spurs might be a little bit tricky. They've just lost today as well. So, we can find some chinks in other teams' armor. And going forward, we want to keep this momentum now going forward. And, if you can't take anything from the Liverpool versus Manchester United game, you know what? You shouldn't even be in that dressing room, because that shows you these guys are champions. And yes, they got integrating new players into the team, but these guys are champions, and they perform so well most of the time. And for us to get a result at Anfield, that's got to give you some kind of fire. It done it under Ten Hag after we lost those 2 opening games. It was a catalyst for our season, and let's hope we can kick on now. Because I know for a fact that it hasn't been like that in the dressing room after you win a game. Do you know what I mean? It's always been, let's go to the next game. Let's think about the next game. Now, the players can relax. The manager can relax for one. And, it's a nice environment, and you can build on that.
Yeah.
When it's negative all the time, it's difficult, isn't it?
And you can already see. Did you see the energy Lenny Yoro was? That's it, about pulling the shirt.
Kobe Mainoo getting lifted up when we scored he's getting ready to come on, poor guy. But, he's getting ready to come on. Yeah. And, he got the energy, like, as soon as the goal scored, he didn't care about coming on. Xerxes didn't care about coming on. Everybody was there. Bruno, he got subbed off. And, that's where you mold a team in those kind of environments, in that situation.
And I think I echo that as well. And I think because we've beaten the champions, it gives the team some self-confidence and self-belief to think, you know what? We're not that bad, are we? The media and everyone else talks all this noise about us. But when we look at the stats, we look at the facts, look at where we are on the table, we ain't that bad, lads. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. And you know what? After the way we finished last season, I don't know about you, Khalid, but after we finished last season, it was thinking, okay, top 10's our hope. But you know what? After you get a result like this, especially against Liverpool, that's the main thing. It's against Liverpool, your biggest rivals, the people who are saying they're going to have more Premier League titles than you.
Yeah.
This is where you make or break your season, because it's like, you lose today, then you lose to Brighton. You definitely lose to Brighton if you lose today. And now it's like, let's change the direction that we're heading in.
It's setting up. It's exactly what you said. It's setting up the momentum. If we think about where we were, we can't afford to say, oh yeah, we're happy with coming in top 10. We don't need that. What we do need is just to keep moving forward. And it's exactly like you said, Jay. We are in a better position. We are going up. We're not saying this is our best, but we're saying that we can continue working on it and move forward. Having that confidence, believing now, like both manager and club will be in that dressing room thinking, lads, come on, it's lock-in time. We've got to do this.
Who was you most impressed in that game then?
As I said, Mbeumo. Mbeumo played amazing, but then I've also got to give it to our defense. They locked in. Those three. You saw Luke Shaw putting in the work. You saw De Ligt being there, and you also saw Harry Maguire, and he was also quite intentional with his passes. You saw a couple crosses that he was putting through that you were like, do you know what?
I don't know if you noticed it either. It was 1-2 touch for the first phase of the game.
Yeah.
That's how we got the goal. Yeah. Nobody was dawdling on the ball and thinking, where do I pass it? Everybody knew what they were going to do with the next pass, and it was looking for each other. That's the main thing.
But did you notice as well in the game, we weren't relying so much on playing out from the back. It was more the long ball against Liverpool, picking up those second balls, and that's how we got the goals. And that tactic seems to work. I don't know about how you feel about that.
Do you know what? Teams eventually what they'll do, but because we got such big players, you know, you got to look out for the other players. Because if you say, for example, you seen De Ligt in the first half, he ran from the defense straight into midfield, or almost into their box, pressing.
Yeah.
And you know, if you got players like that moving about up and down the pitch, yes, you can put 2 on Sesko, and it might be the long ball to him. But if somebody else makes a run from deep, then you know they could potentially be getting the ball as well. And that's what happened with like Maguire for the goal as well. Obviously, we'll come back to that a little bit later. But Maguire with the goal, like same thing. You're looking for the big man in the box. Could have been to Sesko, could have been to De Ligt, could have been to Maguire.
Yeah. I think Maguire has been a character of redemption because too often but not, he's been like the butt of people's jokes.
There's a team that Ruben Amorim selected to lead on that pitch, and he knows what it takes. And you know, he far too often he's been made the criminal. And okay, yes, sometimes he makes mistakes. That's fine. That's fine because you know defenders do. There is going to be moments where they make mistakes, they fall asleep, and there is going to be a bit of a slump. But he leads on that pitch. He leads by example, and that's why I'm looking forward so much to Licha coming back into this team because you know it's a bit different.
And you know what? A good manager will utilize a player for their attributes and their strengths, and know what players to play in what games. And this is a game that Harry Maguire was used for his attributes, and you know it proves us right that you know he can be on the end of balls and he can score from set
but
pieces.
It also shows that you know. Ruben Amorim is happy to make the changes as well. He's not just going to stick. Yeah. He can twist as well. Do you know what I mean?
100%. But it also actually shows that he's confident in his players. I think far too often in other games we see like a team not performing as well, and we're thinking, oh,
Man City was a great example of that.
Yeah, and you think you can bring on. I'm there shouting at the screen, bro. Bring other players on.
Yeah.
But today I was a lot more confident about that because I was like, look,
it's funny as well. You say
the class on the pitch, and I was only a little bit wary when they had equalized. Then I was kind of like, okay.
But it's funny you say that though. Like you could see the changes. Like, come on, bring the changes on. Yeah. Made 5 changes today in that game, and you know. There's little tweaks here and there. Like I said, he took Bruno off in the game. And, you know, he brings on Lenny Yoro. He brings on...
Ugarte.
Yeah.
You know, and he brings on Sesko. He brings on Mainu. He brings on Dorgu. And, you know, he's able to tweak the system in a way which he can see, okay, you've got a squad. Yes, you're playing once a week. And the problem with playing once a week and you're not having the cup games is you don't get to test the rest of the squad. Yeah. Because when you're losing in a game, you go 1-0 behind, you ain't going to make any changes because that's the best team that you think's possible on that pitch. And you can't make any changes because, you know, it completely.
Yeah.
And what do you guys think in terms of like, you know, the changes itself in today's game? Did you think that they were, you know, adequate in what he was trying to do? Because I do. And yes, you know, people can say I'm biased because we won the game, but I thought the changes were actually quite good, to be fair. I never in my life thought he was going to take Bruno off, especially at 1-1.
Me either. I think, but that's the thing, it's about taking that risk. In any other game, realistically, if they had scored, we may have been like, whoa, what are you doing? Taking off Bruno.
As well,
he's our playmaker. But today, because they showed that confidence, I bet you there were quite a lot of people that were maybe at home like, Bruno's coming off. But then again, he was bringing on those legs that you knew would perform so well. Like Yoro, he's already proved himself. He's praised pretty well. He's still young. You've got Kobe Mainu, star boy, who really doesn't get enough props as he should be.
And do you know, in those moments where you know he's making the changes and you know those players are coming on, it's because in the game he can see. Do you know what moments? For example, Casemiro got booked. Okay, let's put that fire out. And you know people overlook like you. If you're winning the game, you've got more time to make changes because you can think. If you're losing, you're not only thinking about what change you can make to win the game. You're thinking about how you can change it.
I think as a manager, you've got to really use anticipation and say, for instance, that time where Casemiro got that booking, you're thinking, you know what? He's a bit of a liability sometimes when it comes to these games. You know, it could be end to end.
It definitely would have been a red card. If he stayed on the pitch, it definitely would have been a red card.
He's seen that and thought, you know what? Let's get him off, and
Yeah.
let's bring Ugarte and control the game, manage it out well. If we're gonna get a draw, at least no one's gonna get sent off and risk
But
that.
at 1-1, how did you feel? Obviously, Gakpo is getting into positions.
My heart was in my mouth the whole game.
All game.
The whole game.
It's funny because all game, Gakpo was getting into positions outside of the box, in and around the box.
He was
shooting
Yeah,
and
yeah,
hit the
yeah.
post as well.
Yeah.
Had those
Three
chances, and it's like that for me, he was taking them shots all day, every single time. Yeah, but the goal that he ends up scoring is a tap in.
Yeah.
Delic, obviously, I think he should do a little bit better there.
Yeah.
Sleeping a little bit. If you're unaware somebody's coming from behind you, get to the ball, just clear it. I can't be critical of him because he has been playing quite well for us. But in that moment in time,
You know what it is?
you just got to get to the ball.
You know what it
clear
is? The man is thinking, you know what? I've got Lemens in goal. I don't need to do anything. Yeah, that's what he's.
Yeah, he
a
wasn't
bit
worried.
more
But
aware.
there's the offside
Yeah,
as well, though. Do you know what I mean? Like at that moment,
Yeah.
if you're unsure,
Yeah.
just
Get
get it away, get rid. And it was nice because you think about it, and the goal goes in. And the reason why I say it was nice because the goal goes in, and then we get the goal back straight away. Pretty much, we're playing a little bit around in our own area, trying to compose ourselves again. And you know what? People can say what they want, but at Anfield, once they score 1-1, it's only going one way. It's not going to be like we're going to dominate possession. We're going to still be on top. The momentum swings like instantly in that moment. And I'm happy with the way that we handle ourselves.
And that's where we need to be giant, which was what we showed today. Because in other games, I feel like we would have just stayed back and sat back and like even been little bit sulky and said, yeah. And sometimes it's easy to revert to that and feel like, oh, I don't think we can get this back. But today they showed a lot of strength, and this is what we need.
I said it during the game. I said that there's a goal in this game because they are vulnerable, and as much as they can go on top, if we can control the pace of the game, then we're okay. And I'm happy with the performance. Ruben Amorim's got some respite, and it's a performance that everybody can go in that dressing room and hold their heads high because we didn't give up. At 1-1, it could have easily, okay, Liverpool are on top now, and these players could have collapsed completely. And, they hold their own, and the performance was spot on for me.
100%. I think for me, brilliant performance. I think it's one we can reference to look for in the future when we not having such a good time, and think back to Liverpool and think how we just dominated them and how we played. And it was a good win for us. Amazing win.
More wins like that. We need to just keep dismantling teams the way we did. I think knowing that we have the strength to just stay behind the ball and just keep on with that is what we just need to carry forward into these next few games. So yeah, let's do it, guys. We got the win away at Anfield. This can be a catalyst for our season now. Every single player coming into that dressing room on Monday morning should be happy, should be on a nice little vibe, and now we can get the real training sessions going because, when you're happy and you're enjoying yourself, you train better, you play better, and, you learn more as well because you want to learn. You're not, oh, it's another Monday morning, I can't be bothered. Oh, we're going to lose. Take something from this game, show that you're a leader on that pitch, and
Keep
next
up the
week,
intensity.
exactly. That was the Manchester United review for the Liverpool versus Manchester United game in which Ruben Amorim's men 1-2-1 away at Anfield. Come on, you Reds. We'll see you on the next one, guys. See you later.